So Emmanuel Amunike comes back top as the favorite to land the Nigerian Super Eagles head coach job. Of course, this is crazy because the last time I put out video, I talked about Emmanuel Amunike, having a very slim chance because the NFF committee obviously thinking about electing or selecting a foreign coach, one of the four people. But right now, what's circulating now is that there has already been a decision made, and NFF, the technical committee, the eight-men technical committee, have now decided to go with a home base. This is still a rumor; it's not official yet, but based on the reports, they are trying to combine a number of coaches, the likes of Emmanuel Amunike as the head coach, and Michael Nsien and Finidi, obviously coming in for the assistant coaching position. But this is still, largely a rumor, but it's very likely that it might be true because a very reliable source obviously said it. But NFF, we are still waiting for NFF to officially announce, their decision on this one. And that aside, there's been an extra pressure on this time. This time it comes from the Minister of Sports Development in Nigeria, Senator John Eno, has now put his mouth into the matter. He was obviously doing interviews for Channels TV, and he talked about the situation. He talks about how NFF are going to reach an agreement or are going to reach a decision within 2 weeks, that it's not going to be more than a week, tops 2 weeks. That's what he said. That's what he told Channels TV. And then he talks about them understanding what's at stake, that they realize, he himself being the sports minister and NFF, that all parties know what's at stake here. They know the urgency that's required to assign the next Nigerian Super Eagles head coach, and they know that Nigerian Super Eagles team obviously needs this to work out for them to start preparing for the World Cup. He knows. But let me move on and give you the other updates, and let me tell you about the Nigerian under-17 team, Manu Garba and his team. Obviously, I mentioned in the last video that they've now started their camp, opened the camp for the preparation for the WAFU qualifiers. And again, I said in the last video that the 51 players that Manu Garba invited have already come to camp, and of course that they've started training. So the routine for their training is 7 a.m. in the morning, and then in the evening 4 a.m. in the morning, as at right now. And you know that Manu Garba is not going to take all 51 players to Ghana for the WAFU B competition. He's going to cut down the squad size to actually reduce them to maybe 25 or 23 or thereabout, or 27. So lots of work to be done with this team, and this competition is next month. It's in May, so there's obviously no time for. Even beyond that one, guys, let me let you know that it was all happy mood for Nigerian Super Eagles players who participated in the Europa League this midweek, and of course in the Europa Conference League also this midweek. We saw the likes of Atlanta and Ademola Lookman obviously qualifying against Liverpool. Of course, the first game we talked about that they won 3-0 surprise margin, and yesterday was the return leg. Liverpool winning by 1-0 courtesy of this Mo Salah goal, but it wasn't enough to overturn the goal deficit. So Ademola Lookman obviously going through Atalanta into the semi-finals of the Europa League. Now, I'm not particularly happy with the minutes that Ademola Lookman is getting, because these days he doesn't seem to be getting enough minutes. He doesn't start matches very often. He comes from the bench. Sometimes he sits out the game completely. For example, the first leg he did not play at all. Yesterday's game he was obviously introduced in the 9 minutes of the game, 79 minutes or thereabouts. So he played like 11 minutes. Of course, that was not enough time to actually leave his mark. So he had 0 goals, 0 assists whatsoever. But the most important thing is that they, as a club, Atlanta, have now qualified to the semi-finals. I'm sure he will be relishing the next game and hoping that he starts that game. Let me let you know that Victor Boniface and Netantela also were part of the jubilating Super Eagles players yesterday as they qualified ahead of a very strong West Ham side. Obviously, in the first leg, Leverkusen took the advantage by winning that one 2-0. Victor Boniface scored one of the 2 goals, but yesterday's game they played 1-1, bringing the aggregate to 3-1, and that means that Bayern Leverkusen have now qualified to the semi-finals of the Europa League. And again, Netantela, had a little discussion about what inspired them in that game, because that match they didn't really play like the Bayern Leverkusen that we used to know. And Netantela obviously said that the match was very difficult, especially during the first half, because they did not really show up the way that they used to show up. But again, he said that what was very important and paramount to their comeback, because they were actually losing 1-0. They scored a late equalizer through Frimpong. But Netantela says that what actually inspired them after having a bad first half was the inspiration that they gained as a team from what Alonso told them at halftime. That was what awoken their spirit and then brought them back into the game, and they fought through and got their goal and qualified in the end. The Boniface actually played 45 minutes, had 2 chances created, had 0 goals. Netantela also had 45 minutes played, 0 chances created, 0 goals. But importantly, they are now through to the semi-finals, which is the bigger picture, and they are definitely going to be happy with that one. Moving on, let me let you know that Amunike also was among the happy party yesterday as his club bridge side qualified yesterday to the semi-finals in their UEFA Europa Conference. They played against Polk, won the first leg by 1-goal margin, and then yesterday they went to Polk and then got a 2-0 victory, and it was really massive for Amunike. Of course, he was very instrumental in that game. He actually played for 90 minutes, had 5 tackles won, and had 1 chance created. And of course, we had a few of our players who were not very happy because their teams did not win. The likes of Samuel Chukwueze obviously is one of those players who had a bad day in the midweek as his AC Milan side, we are thrashed out of the Europa League by AS Roma. Again, Daniel Rossi continues his form with AS Roma after Mourinho was fired. But Chukwueze had a bad day, obviously, and his AC Milan side could not turn things around. They lost that game by goal aggregate of 2-1. Chukwueze played 45 minutes, had 3 dribbles, 0 goals, and this means that they are out of the Europa League. Like so, he was also one of the players that got crashed out from the Conference League yesterday, but it was a really tough match. Fenerbahce obviously showing strength against Olympiacos. They ended that game 1-0, Fenerbahce winning. But again, they were knocked out on penalties. That is Samuel, very involved in that game, playing the whole of the 120 minutes, had 2 tackles, had 10 duels, 1 as well. But it's such a shame that they are not going to proceed to the semi-finals. All in all, better luck next season for the guys that didn't qualify, and good luck to the guys that obviously qualified into the semi-finals. That's the update for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and share this video to get across to a lot of people, and make sure to also subscribe if you've not done so, as we continue to wait for Nigerians Super Eagles appointment of the new coach. It could happen even now that I'm talking, or any time at all. But again, right now it seems that seems that Amunike is the man that's leading the race, and NFF might chew their word and go on and appoint a local coach ahead of foreign coach. That's the update, guys. Thank you for watching this one.